This is Tristan, the bow tie toy guy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going on a road trip to Xenia, Ohio to attend the Great Ohio Toy Show. This is a 7-building filled giant toy show. So grab some popcorn or your favorite snack because I'm going to film a little bit longer than normal this time. So we're going to see a lot of footage. And at the very end, stay tuned for my haul. I will show you anything that I find to add to my collection. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, please subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. And let's get started. Let's get ourselves started. We visited the Great Ohio Toy Show in the very first episode of my toy hunting series, so it's amazing to be back for episode 20. There are so many things to look at this show. It's hard to quantify what to film, so I hope you end up enjoying the footage. Do any of you remember these vintage Doodle Bear and Doodle Pets plushes? This vendor also had a mint-in-box vintage Barbie horse. This particular show specializes in vintage toys like these mint-in-box Care Bears plushes, but there are a lot of modern toys that you'll see in this video as well. These Care Bears as well as this collector glass were in perfect condition. There were a few video game vendors as well. Do you remember these reward statues that you could get back in the day with Mario? These mint-in-box vintage Hardy Boys dolls were really cool to see. I grew up reading the Hardy Boys mystery novels. I had to zoom in on this. This guy had 2 vintage mint-in-box Thundercats electronic Cats Lair playsets, which is insane. Look at these cute Get Along Gang collectibles. Do any of you remember this animated series from the 1980s? I love seeing vintage frame tray puzzles like this Toxic Crusaders puzzle. Another great animated television series that a lot of people have forgotten about, Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates. This vendor had a large box of loose dolls and doll clothing under his table, so of course I had to start digging through it. If you recognize any of these fashion pieces, leave a comment down below. You're going to see several vendors today with both vintage and modern mint-in-box dolls from a variety of lines, like this Olympic gymnast Barbie and this really cute ballet My First Ken doll. This vendor also had a mint-in-box Monster High Circus Scaregrounds playset, but it was extremely expensive. I was tempted by so many of the dolls that I saw at the show today. It's hard to figure out what you're going to buy or not buy. Like this dance class Laguna was really cool. This was cool to see. How often do you come across mint on card and mint in box Disney's A Bug's Life figures? I love seeing some of the oddball merchandise it shows, like this Disney's Pocahontas Jax set. Who even knew that that was a thing? There was a Pocahontas toothbrush mint on card there as well. Disney licensed everything. I always have to check out any vendors that have vintage Masters of the Universe or Princess of Power, but this Shrinky Dinks ET set was really cool as well. Do you remember those? Boxes like this are fun to dig through. There were vintage Garbage Pail Kids pins, WCW trading cards, and I spot a GoBot in there as well. This show quite literally has something for everyone. There were even mint on card vintage ALF animated series figures. Another awesome animated television series that a lot of people have forgotten about, Cops. The toys were referred to as Cops and Crooks. This vendor only had Monster High dolls for sale, and there were some pretty amazing ones, but as you can see, the price tags were pretty steep. It's cool to see vintage Biker Mice from Mars figures mint on card. That IP has had a resurgence recently with a new toy line. There were also a lot of vendors at the show with Transformers, both vintage and modern. This vendor had a wonderful selection of vintage strawberry shortcake, like these mint on card minifigures. This vendor also had Monster High figures and dolls. This show is so tempting walking around because I just saw things at almost every table that I wanted, but you have to cherry pick, not only because of finances, but it's kind of difficult to carry around a ton of items between 7 buildings. It's nice to see 1/6 scale G.I. Joe at the show. Hasbro quite literally coined the term action figure back in the day. This vendor had a box of vintage mint in-box Barbies below their table, so of course I have to dig through it. This Barbie for President was super cute. Now we're getting to a vendor that had a ton of vintage mint in box as well as loose Barbie dolls. I recorded a short video highlighting this particular vendor. I'll leave a link in the description down below in the related videos section. So when you're finished watching this, please check that out. There were a variety of doll lines at the show, not just Barbie. There were also Bratz, and to the left, I think those are vintage Happy Family Mattel dolls. I love this Hello Kitty Barbie. Her outfit is so cute. Do any of you remember these seawees? They have really shot up in price over the years. I found a ton of them at a flea market in a future toy hunting episode that I've already filmed, so please consider subscribing to the channel to check that out in the future when I release it. I spotted a few more beautiful Bratz dolls that were mint in box. This gigantic Frankenstein Pez dispenser is really cool. Look how cute this little mini Cabbage Patch Kids doll is. For all you Funko Pop vinyl figure collectors, I have grouped together the vendors at the show that had a good selection of them, so I hope you enjoy the footage. It's a little difficult because I never know which ones to focus on because there are very often dozens of them at a table. Michael Myers hiding behind a hedge. No, thank you. I think I'm going to stick with Barbies. There were several vendors with really cool collector plates, like this French Fry Garden McDonald Land collector plate. This vendor had a great display for Funko Pop vinyl figures, but it was overwhelming because there were so many of them. Now we're getting into a few loose dolls for sale. There were a variety, but most of them were wearing incorrect fashions. For example, that Ken in the animal print shirt, that is the Animal Lovin' Ken's shirt, but it was on the wrong doll. This vendor had several boxes filled to the brim with vintage Barbie fashions and accessories. They even had one of the vintage booklets that came with the doll in the box. These vintage Simpsons and Married with Children keychains were cool to see. The fun thing about a show like this is when you come across vendors with an interesting selection. This particular vendor had vintage Beetlejuice, gargoyles, Toy Biz Marvel and DC, a little bit of everything. Do any of you remember Magic Trolls babies? They are so cute. If you're a My Little Pony collector, the Great Ohio Toy Show is definitely for you. Every time that I've been, there were several vendors, including today, with just dozens of them. Now we're getting to one of the best vendors at the Great Ohio Toy Show, in my opinion, which is O'Smiley's Dolls and Collectibles. I have featured them in the past in a toy hunting episode where we visited their retail store in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they set up each time at the Cincinnati Fashion Doll Show, of which I have several toy hunting episodes on my channel. They bring such a wonderful variety with them when they set up at shows. As you can see, they have a ton of really beautiful mint in box Barbies, like this gorgeous Barbie of Swan Lake Odette doll. And of course, we can't forget about Ken because he is Knuff. They had several mint in box vintage Ken dolls as well. This was cool to see. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a Barbie that you can turn into a birthday cake. I love that there were battle trolls at the show. I still have several in my toy collection from my childhood. This Superman the Animated Series Supergirl doll is really cool. Do any of you collect My Little Pony? Let me know in the comments down below. They even had vintage VHS tapes with episodes from the classic animated television series. The thing that's so interesting about this show is there'll be a vendor like this with a ton of Transformers, but you turn around and at the same exact booth, they also have vintage Barbie dolls. My sister would have freaked out at this show because of the amount of vintage strawberry shortcake. This particular vendor had just a ton of the dolls, including this large, really cute lemon meringue rag doll. Is this the Cabbage Patch Kids doll that bit kids' fingers off? Does anybody remember that? That there was like a mechanized Cabbage Patch Kids doll that they had to recall? Now we get into another vendor with loose dolls. This was cool to see. As an adult, I have never seen this many vintage Atari boxes in perfect condition like that. Now we get into a vendor with loose Monster High as well as mint in box, including some of the modern Generation 3 dolls. There weren't too many vendors with non-sport trading cards, but this particular lady had a nice selection, including these vintage Spider-Man cards. I am back from attending the Great Ohio Toy Show. Thank you for sticking around to the end for the haul portion. I'm in a different outfit because it's a different day. I'm back home in my toy room. I didn't have a chance to film the haul portion when I was in Xenia. The show is pretty overwhelming. It's 7 buildings filled with literally thousands of toys, and you kind of get distracted when you're at a show that big. But I definitely want to show you my haul, so let's get into it. We'll start with, I found a vintage Barbie fashion that's still in the package. This is from the Sweet and Pretty Fashions line, and I didn't even know that these existed. It's a cool peppermint scented dress for Barbie. I love this. I hope I find more of these at some point, and I'm very curious to open it and see if it still has a fragrance to it. But it's this little cute dress that has like candy print, and apparently it's scented. I love that it was at KB Toy Store on sale for 99 cents back in the day. So I picked that out. And then I also found, I think it was from the same vendor. It might have been a different one. There were so many vendors at this show, but I found a vintage Barbie Little Extras shoe accessories pack. These are, I think, all the flat-footed shoes for Barbie. This was released in 1995. I find vintage dolls regularly at thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, and they're always in the need of shoes. So I'm definitely going to open this and use these on dolls when I restore them. And then in terms of loose fashions, I found 2 pairs of vintage Barbie heels in yellow and pink. And then I also found a loose, I think this is from Sparkle Beach. It's a swimsuit bottom. I'm not certain which doll off the top of my head came in the purple colorway. So if you know with any of this, please let me know in the comments down below. This is another swimsuit bottom in blue. This goes to a Pearl Beach Barbie. And like I said, with this one, I'm not certain which doll came in the blue colorway. And then the same with this. I think this one came on the Barbie. This is from Cut and Style, and it's the vest, the top piece to a Cut and Style Barbie. And then I found, these are not official, these are clone, but I found a pair of white sneakers that will fit a Ken doll. And then this one I don't recognize, so if you know, please let me know in the comments. It has the purple Barbie tag, but it's this really cute little printed jacket with like a hot pink sort of fuchsia collar. And I don't recognize it, I'm not sure, but I thought it was cute. So I picked that out. And those are all the loose fashions. It's going to be noisy because I have to move things around now. So let's get into the only non-sport trading card purchase that I made was a factory sealed box of the complete set of Disney's The Little Mermaid collectible story cards from Pro Set. I don't have another one of these in my collection. I don't think I do. So this one I'm going to open, and if I find another one day, I'm going to leave it mint in box because I like to have a loose set as well as a mint in like mint in box, or, you know, depending on what the packaging is, mint in tin, because some trading cards come in collectible tins. But I like to have a loose set as well as a factory sealed set. And this was released in 1991. And then let's get into the two loose dolls that I picked out. Both of them I'm going to have to clean up. This one I'm going to have to restore. But it is a Disney's The Little Mermaid Ariel doll from Mattel. If you recognize her, please let me know. I haven't been able to figure out which particular. I think it's just a Playline doll, like a budget Playline doll. But I'm going to restore her and get her looking brand new. And I already have an outfit picked out for her. And then this doll still has her box, but she's loose. She was this particular vendor's childhood doll, and she had kept the box in the basement. And it is the vintage Sweet Romance Barbie. She still has all of her accessories, but I'm going to have to clean her up. She's dusty and dirty because she was played with. She was released in 1991, but she's a really pretty Barbie. She had $8 on her, and I talked her down to $5. And then let's get into the mint in box dolls. So I found a vintage Halloween hip Barbie mint in box. This one is Halloween themed. She has like a spider's web themed skirt. And then she has a little black cat graphic tee and a witch's hat. Really cute. I didn't have this one, so I picked her out. And with the sticker prices on all of this, I didn't pay what the sticker price says. I wheeled and dealed for every single thing. And then I found a mint in box My First Ken. It's a ballet Ken doll from the Easy to Dress line. This was released in 1991, and I love the blue colorway. I'm going to be on the lookout now for the ballerina Barbie that goes with this Ken so that I can put them together. These are some of the other Ken dolls that were released at the time. And then I've got one more mint in box doll. There was sort of a theme to the show for me. Most of what I picked out, even though it was across 7 buildings, was released in 1991, which is insane. And a lot of it, of course, is Barbie and Disney's The Little Mermaid. And I didn't plan it like that. It just happened that way. But I found a mint in box Ariel Disney's The Little Mermaid doll. This is the Ocean Bride Ariel from Mattel. She was released in 1997. She's in this gorgeous wedding dress. I'm probably going to display her loose. I haven't decided yet. She comes with a wedding cake and a bunch of presents. Really beautiful doll. My favorite era is always going to be the Tyco Little Mermaid dolls, but Mattel did a great job with the license as well. And then last but not least, this is a larger item to show. I found a vintage mint in box Barbie snow dance horse. This was released, you guessed it, 1991. Really pretty horse, really insane colorway. That's why I wanted it. I'm on the lookout now for the Barbie that matches this horse so that I can display them together. Until then, I'm probably going to keep this mint in box. And I would love to find the Ken as well from this particular line. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but the horse has bells. So it jingles when you like play with or, move the horse around. Really, really cute. So I picked that out. And that is everything that I found. Please let me know in the comments down below. Did you see anything in the footage that you would have picked up? I have a previous toy hunting episode linked on the screen right now from Xenia. Please check that out, and thank you for watching.